Hello, and welcome to today's subscriber contract 2 for 2, set in every map of Hitman 2 and supplied to us today by Paul Anderson 37, who was inspired by the One and Done series from Turkitties. So let's start off with Hawke's Bay, nice and easy hopefully to start off. So first thing we're going to do is make our way straight around and into the bedroom, closing all of the blinds on the upper floor as we go. Now we do have a little bit of time as everybody is just entering the house now and beginning their patrols. So our first target will make his way into the bedroom area and the bathroom area as part of his patrol. There he is. So once he exits the bedroom and starts making his way around to the bathroom, we're going to come up behind him and we're going to throw our shuriken at the back of his head. There we go. So one target down. Now because this is Hawke's Bay and it is a bit of a practice mission or practice map, we really do not want to cause any sort of alarm or panic because everyone will not go back to normal. So with that in mind, we're going to deposit our friend here in the closet provided. We're going to take his outfit and his gun, and then we're going to make our way towards the exit, and along the way we will bump into our second target. So we're just going to hop out of the bathroom window, down the drain pipe nice and easily, and out onto the dunes, and we're heading for our boat, and our final target should be the last guard we see between the dunes and our boat. So I'm just going to quickly select my silenced pistol. There is the guard himself patrolling up and down. We're just going to wait for him to get over to the left hand side and we can then move up behind him. When he stops over by the tall grass, we are going to very quickly just plant 2 in his back. There we go. And then we're going to run straight for our awaiting boat and hope that no one finds him before we get there. Although it is night time, everybody has these silly little torches, so getting away with this should be easy. So there we go, 1 map down with 5 more to go, and next up we'll go somewhere a little bit brighter. So for our next mission we are off to Miami and we are going to take care of our first target, who is the Kronstadt driver in the medical center. So we're just going to head out the back of the medical unit. We're going to take out the surveillance system. We're going to collect up the baseball and the baseball bat, and we're going to turn off the generator. That will attract the attention of the doctor, who is an enforcer. So we're just going to get rid of him. It's easier to have him out of the way. So when he comes out to investigate why the generator has gone off, we can then render him unconscious using either the bat or the baseball. It doesn't matter which. Whichever one we don't use, we are then going to select before making our way into the medical center's examination room. We're going to render the driver unconscious with either the baseball or the bat. We're going to drop a remote taser into the puddle that we are about to create on the floor with the sink. We're going to drag our target over towards the puddle. We're going to move a safe distance away and we're going to trigger the taser. So 1 target down and 1 more to go. Our next target is quite a distance away, and they are in the underground car park. So we need to make our way over there. We also require a change of disguise, but luckily enough we can pick one up along the way. So we're going to head down into the underpass and then into the staff only corridors, where we will find a event crew outfit. So we're just gonna relieve the gentleman currently wearing it from the outfit. We're gonna continue on through the bathrooms and out into the car park area, and our next target is one of the guards currently in the car park area. He is in the security office, so we need to lure him outside, and the easiest way to do that would be with the fuse box on the wall here. So we're going to quickly turn off the fuse box and then turn it back on again. We're going to move a safe distance away, have our pistol ready and waiting, and when our new friend comes out and joins us and we let that door close behind us, we're going to then quickly shoot him in the head with the pistol. There we go, down you go, sir. So all that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and unfortunately the nearest available safe exit will be the main site entrance, or the main event entrance. So we're going to head through the underpass, out through the other side and up into the entrance area. We can head straight down back onto the mean streets of Miami. So 2 maps down with 4 more to go. So the next stop on our world tour is Santa Fortuna. So we're just going to very quickly make our way behind the gas station, or the petrol station. We're going to put 1 bullet in the oil drum there, and that will take perfectly care of our first target. I'm going to use this opportunity to remove and replace the gas grenade in my briefcase, and then we're going to head off to Andrea Martinez's compound, and we're going to deal with the surveillance system. And while we're doing that, the gas station's wife will come along for a cigarette, and when she stands in that puddle and ignites her cigarette, she will light up more than just her fag. So we're going to make our way around to the rear of the musician's property, where we can then take out the camera on the side of the compound. That somehow has managed to cause a bit of panic, but we should be okay to just approach the compound, hop over the wall, make our way up to the first floor balcony area, and we should also just be able to see the surveillance system through the open window, just as the gas station's wife drops down in a ball of flames. We're just going to try and take out the surveillance system with a shot, or maybe 2 in my case, before heading off to our next location. So our final target is Rico Delgado, and Paul Anderson has asked that we remove him using the tattooist, Mr. Papawa. So we're going to make our way straight down to the village bar, and this is where the gas grenade will come in handy. So we are going to run straight up to Mr. Papawa, and we are going to detonate our gas grenade in his face, and then we are going to move on to the bathroom area, and we don't need our briefcase anymore, so we're just going to drop that down on the floor next to the bins. We're going to drop our pistol as well, as we will be going through a frisk. And when Mr. Papawa finally decides, I think I'm going to be sick, and makes his way to the bathroom, we can be ready and waiting. We're just going to let that door close before we hop in through the window. We're going to render Mr. Papawa unconscious. You can leave him here. I'm going to take his outfit, and I am going to deposit him in the dumpster provided, just to be extra safe, as this is a relatively long routine about to come up. So we are going to be following the mission story. So we're going to make our way, once we have Mr. Papawa safely stored away, up to the front of the mansion. And from here on out, all we have to do is follow the prompts and let everything play out. So we're going to knock on the door, they're going to let us in, we're going to go through a frisk very quickly. Quicker than that, sir, come on, I'm in a rush, let's get on with this. The other guard in the pink shirt will then lead us to the main building, where we will be met by Mrs. Delgado, not wearing enough clothing for the amount of burly men running around the place. I think she's itching for something. So, once we get up to the main house, we will be introduced to Mrs. Delgado, who will then lead us up to the first floor, giving us a lot of information, some of it very wrong. You do not administer CPR. You do administer CPR, you don't administrate it. So, once we get up here, we're going to have a quick selfie with Mrs. Delgado, and then she is going to lead us into Rico's office, and we can then begin our tattoo. Everybody will be getting in the way, which will annoy Rico greatly. Not just Rico, as Rico's personal bodyguard can be a bit narky, so we want to get rid of him. Mrs. Delgado is not too bad, she's just standing around taking pictures. I can live with that. She would normally have to go because she has evidence of us, but this is Hitman and we are allowed to leave certain amounts of evidence, but not all. So once these two have finished their little argument, Rico will sit down in the chair. Mrs. Delgado will begin her photo session. We can start the tattoo, and Rico will now start getting annoyed with everyone. We're going to ask him to sit still, and then he's going to tell everyone to leave. And once everybody has finally left, we will be able to stick him with our needle. So off goes Catalina, I'm not sure exactly how she pronounces it. Mrs. Delgado, go and put some clothes on, dear. I know it's your house, but still. So once the bodyguard has safely vacated the office, we are going to jab Mr. Delgado in the neck. There we go. In fact, we stick him in the ear, make it even more insulting. We're then going to take the sports car keys that he drops, and we are then going to make our way straight over the balcony, as we are running rather late. This is supposed to be technically a speed run of sorts, so we're going to head straight for the garages, and we're going to take this nice flashy sports car, as Rico won't be needing it. So halfway there and halfway to go. So next up, Mumbai, and we are here sweeping up some dried leaves. We're just going to quickly make our way across the train yard to the far side, where we will find a tea set nicely set up, and we're just going to quickly take up our position here, add our poison to the tea. Now normally if we were poisoning Vanya Shah, we would have to stick around because her sister samples the tea first, but today the target is the sister, so we can add the poison and we can leave, and everything else will play out as it should. Vanya Shah will finish taking up her position as queen of the railway area, and she will go and sample the tea. Her sister will sample the first cup, and she will be the one to demise herself. Now we need to be wearing a guard's outfit while this happens, but we have plenty of time to make our way around to the security slash office slash car and get ourselves the Queen's Guard outfit. So now that that's done, all that's left for us to do is to either make good our escape, or for the purposes of the video, I'm going to make my way out of the train yard and then back in at the other end so that we can witness the elimination. Normally you wouldn't have to bother with this, like I said, it's only for the purposes of the video. If you so wish, you could move straight on to your next target. So once Vanya Shah has finished holding court over in her throne room area, she will come over here, her sister will sample the tea, and she will find it not to her liking. So all we have to do now is move along, and our next and final target is quite the distance away, and they are over by Rangin Tower. Now there's probably a much shorter way of getting there if we cut right through the center of the map, but as I've stated many times, I do get very turned around in that central area of the Mumbai map, so I like to go around the outside any opportunity I can. So we're just going to cut in by the tea stands, and just around the corner we will find our target on patrol, and just off to our right is the Rangin Tower. So we're just going to drop our remote taser on the floor, and I thought for a second that somebody was going to go and try and get a different guard, even though our target is the guard and he is right there. But luckily enough, he is our target and he is going to pick up the taser, and he is going to have a shockingly bad day. So all that's left for us to do now is to make good our escape. Now unfortunately I didn't think to bring some coins with me, so the next nearest available exit for us that is not one of the tuk-tuks will be the primary default location starting exit. So next up we are going to go somewhere a little bit more suburban. So after the fiasco of Mumbai, we're going to head somewhere a little bit more serene and suburban, and we are off to Whittleton Creek. And if we run straight down the side street here, we will encounter our first target, and in trying to eliminate this young lady with a fiber wire, I have discovered something I was unsure of, and I think I may have discovered once a very long time ago, but completely forgotten about, is that you can hide this young lady right here out in the open and no one will ever find her. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So with our first target taken care of in very quick succession, we're now going to be waiting around for quite a while, as our next target is the politician, and him and his guard can both be rather tricky-some and troublesome, should I say, as well. So we're going to remove our gas grenade from our briefcase, and we're going to return it to the briefcase, thus activating it. We're then going to make our way to the park shed, and we're going to retrieve our breaching charge. We're then going to make our way over to the house for sale, and we're going to wait right there for a very long time. I'm not going to kid you, we are going to be stood here for long enough to go away, make yourself some cheese on toast, or grilled cheese if you're in America, and come back. So we're going to wait right here for a good 10 to 15 minutes for the politician and his bodyguard to make their way all the way around the map until they get to the house for sale. And then we are going to approach the politician as he passes the for sale sign, and that will get both of these two together. We're going to approach them both and detonate our gas grenade, making them both sick. They will both then go into the house for sale, and we can then deal with the politician accordingly. Like I said, these two can be troublesome. They're not particularly difficult, but depending on the method with which we have to eliminate them, it can make things tricky. And using a breaching charge on the politician or an explosive device is going to make things a bit tricky, because the bodyguard will usually follow them absolutely everywhere. We can't really distract him away. We could make him sick, or we could put him to sleep, but this method is the most reliable. It's just also the most slowest. So once both targets are in a bathroom and purging themselves, we're going to pounce on the politician, render him unconscious. We're going to place the breaching charge under his head as a pillow, move a safe distance away and detonate the breaching charge. We're then going to move the politician out onto the outer balcony, just in case the guard finishes purging himself and comes back looking for the politician and heads into that bathroom. We don't want him to find the body. And while that is happening, we are going to make our way for the nearest available safe exit. And as we've done so much standing and running today, we're going to go for the bus exit. And so for our final map today, we are off back to a big city, and this time round it is New York. And we have got a fair bit of running around to do before we can approach our targets. So we need a change of disguise, namely the high security guard, or the bodyguard as I like to call them. So we're going to make our way down into the basement and the vault area, and into the IT department, where we can get ourselves a bodyguard's outfit and a key card, both of which will come in very handy. So just on the desk we have the key to the server room. We're going to let ourselves into the server room. We're going to turn off the fuse box on the right, which will shut down the vault security system, which in turn will get the attention of one of the vault bodyguards. We're going to hide in the crate provided, and when our friend comes along to find out what's going on, we can then jack in the box. We're going to render the bodyguard unconscious. We're going to take everything that he drops. So we're going to take his outfit, his gun, and most importantly his key card. And we can now make our way up to our two targets, who are both located up on the top floor. We're just going to take out that surveillance camera there. We're going to take out the entire surveillance system on our way upstairs, as we will have a number of cameras to avoid. As you can see, we've already had to avoid two, and we've only gone around in one corridor. So we're going to take out the surveillance system. We can now make our way pretty much all the way up to the second floor, completely unmolested. We do need to keep an eye out for Officer Frank and Mr. Perez, who both patrol the ground floor area and are both enforcers. But once we get all the way up to the top floor, we can now start dealing with our two targets, one of which is Miss Savalas's personal assistant here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our way into Athena's little restroom area. We're going to retrieve our Seeker 1. Then we're going to grab the apricot from the desk. We're going to open the door to the main reception and throw the apricot into the room beyond. That will get the attention of Mr. Weimer, and he will come around to investigate. And we can then select our bat shuriken, position ourselves just so, and eliminate our target. Now that will more than likely attract the attention of the bodyguard across the room, so we do need to grab Mr. Weimer and get him in the closet provided very quickly. So we're just going to wait for the bodyguard to lose interest and go back to his routine, as he too is an enforcer, so we can't just wander outside. We're then going to make our way to the conference room, around behind yet another enforcer, and we're going to make our way inside the conference room, and we're going to opaque the windows. So for me, this is where things go almost very wrong. Now, depending on your timing. So what I'm doing is I'm going to look using instinct very carefully. I'm looking for Mr. Man, or Mr. Wick, as I like to call him, because he looks very much like John Wick. He's going to be coming up these stairs at some point. It doesn't look like he's anywhere nearby at the moment, so we are free and clear to shoot our target with the Seeker 1. Now she's going to get sick, and she's going to make her way to a bin over by the stairs leading up to Athena's office, and we are going to intercept her on the way, because if we try to inject her with our lethal syringe while she's at the bin, she will have us spotted. So that's why we've opaqued these windows, and we were able to get her in this corridor. Unfortunately, she's decided to take her sweet time about getting sick. She hasn't moved, in fact. She's just stood there finishing up the conversation with files, which meant that Mr. Man was on his way up the stairs. So what I've quickly, very quickly done is bump into Mr. Man to make him question us. Just stopping him briefly is not enough. You do need to get him to stop to say something before retreating back up the stairs, jabbing our target in the back with our needle, and then immediately running away again. And we're heading for the only available exit in this area, which is the main entrance exit, and we are once again out onto the streets of New York, and we are away. So there we go, 2 for 2, season 2 taken care of, and we have just a few more maps to go, which we will cover in the next 2 for 2 season. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.